Maybe tomorrow or day after you see. Okay. Well. Oh, hello. Sunday Adelaja
Hello,
here.
sir.
Welcome everybody. I'm welcoming all of you who are uh, on online. Please go and welcome your friends and family members. All right, we are going to have another very engaging program today. We are still in the Christmas mood. It was just 2 days ago we had Christmas, and the Christmas is still here. So we are going to do Christmas challenge. We're going to do Christmas challenge. And the Christmas challenge, we're going to do lessons from it. Lessons from this Christmas challenge. And I have a very, very interesting guest today, because I've had him before and I've spoken to him a few times, and I know his heart, and I know he's qualified to do this review, because to do the Christmas review, I want only people who know the heart of that message, people who are already living that message out, people who are already making a difference in the lives of other people, people who have been inspired not to live for themselves anymore, but to live for other people. So today I want to present to you brother or Mr. Adeosun Opeyemi. Hello, Mr. Opeyemi.
Good evening, dear sir.
How are you doing
Good
today?
evening, family.
Yep.
Very fine, thank you.
Not a bit like research. Yeah, welcome. He shows. Yes. So you are based in Nigeria.
Yes, I'm based in Abuja, Nigeria.
Well, that is always a joy to someone like me whenever I have somebody who is based in Nigeria come on the show.
Yeah, that's a good one.
But it's like, you don't look like as if you are in Nigeria, because you have light there, and it's like your internet is working.
Well, I have to come to my place of work to have a better network. So I
And
think
you couldn't get into the office, because there's a close hours, right?
yes, definitely. I'm seated in front of the office, so I think we have a successful time here.
Yeah, because it seems your internet is perfect, and also it seems the light is good.
Yeah, relatively. Yeah, relatively.
Even though you couldn't get into the office, but even outside the office is good, is better than some of the people in the office and the hotel and everywhere.
Definitely, yeah.
Now,
Thank God.
did you see that challenge, that Christmas challenge?
I woke up on the 25th of December, and just as usual, I picked up my phone and I saw it. And the first thing that came to my mind was, and because before then I thought I had settled everybody, I thought I was okay for Christmas and for the Yuletide period, but it was a challenge to me. I initially thought it was Elijah's challenge, but when I saw it that this was pointing at me, I knew I had not, it was as if I was owing almost everybody. Unfortunately, I had already exhausted myself financially, but the first thing I did was to put a call through to 3 people. 2 of them are widows who I thought they would be fine for Christmas. I put a call through them, and I had to tell them I will owe them. That's the first challenge, because I felt they'll be fine. I felt I wasn't owing them, but the challenge made me feel I needed to reach out to more people. So I had to even owe them that and I gave them dates of particular thing I would do for them on social time, because I told them I had nothing on me now. Another thing
No,
that I did,
tell me more about these widows. It means that your suspicion was good, that they were not good, they were not in a good shape.
yeah, definitely they were not in a good shape, but there are people they have been my friend. I've been reaching out to them over the months, but for the Christmas, I just felt I had done enough, so they were not on my list for this period, because I felt Christmas is not the only time we need to reach out. Every day should be Christmas for us as Christians. We don't need to wait for Christmas or for Easter or for any special period to assist people or to support people or to be friendly with people. But the Christmas challenge just made me feel I had not done enough. So I had to put a call through to them and reach out to them that, oh, the reason why I had not reached out to you was because of this, oh, Merry Christmas and everything. And I promised them something, you know. Then the second thing I did on the Christmas day, like I told you, I saw this on the Christmas day. I don't know when exactly you posted it, but I saw it on the Christmas day early in the morning. Was that I was thinking I would spend Christmas with my neighbors and my normal neighbors. So when I say normal, my people like me and co. But I had to reach out to some of those my children who are Muslims and had to invite them over instead. So 9 of them came that day. And when I was asking them, what do you think we are doing? He said, what one of them said is that we came to celebrate your own Salah. Salah in Islam is like Ramadan, Salah celebration. So they say we the Christians are celebrating our own Salah. So that's why they came.
So they think this is like our own Ramadan.
Exactly, like our own Ramadan. So it was a very good time with them. And you know, if not for the Christmas challenge, to be frank with you, I wouldn't have done those 2 things because I thought I was okay for the year. And then now, and seeing those pictures, you know, I've seen those videos before, those videos that you showed. But
yes, I've shown them before.
Yeah, but it touched another part of me that I think when the Bible says faith comes by hearing, sir.
Yes.
I think it's about hearing and seeing things over and over and over again. And this is one of the problems we so much have in Nigeria. This month makes a year and a month I stepped into a Nigerian church. And the main reason is that the first thing, if the first step to even detoxify oneself as a Nigerian Christian is to stop going to Nigerian church. I don't know. People say there are
you just hit it. Stop going altogether.
Altogether. You may decide to go in the next 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, but the first thing is to stop. Because I've not seen any of them who abide by the redemption rules. I mean, times have changed. And this is one of the things I always come out to tell them, that things have changed. You cannot be referring to Mosaic law, referring to Elijah, fighting the battle of Elisha, when Jesus is there. When the first apostles laid good examples.
When Jesus is there.
Yeah, because I remember one of your comments, that a lot of people spoke in the Bible, but if we say we are Christians, we are followers of Christ. Now, what did Jesus do? What were his steps? What were the things he did exactly? So why can't we just follow him? You know, I think that's where.
No, you have said so many. You have said so many important things. So many important things. Number one, you are planning to have just a gathering together with
normal friends,
with your normal everyday life friends.
Yes.
That like with your comrades and friends.
Exactly, my neighbors and normal neighbors. Yeah.
But what did you say you ended up doing? So
I ended up calling the children, and some of the children I put in school then, the Muslim families who stay up to now, they still stay in uncompleted buildings.
Many people don't know. We have to start the story about the children you put in school. I mean, all that you are talking as if I'm the only one here. You know, all the people who had that one, they are no more here. They don't even know what you are talking about. So you've got to tell us your story.
Okay. So I know a lot of people do this, but last year, let me start from how I came to this platform, how I met DSA. Sometimes May last year, 2017, I went to the internet on Facebook just to, maybe it was one of the boring time in the office or outside the office. I can't remember the exact date. And I just saw a short video where a pastor or a man who happens to be DSA eventually was preaching. And the messages he was preaching was against what I've been hearing. And the guy was quoting Bible. And eventually, the person happens to be DSA, who I had heard about. I heard about him in 2014 or thereabout. And I know that in my then church, he was invited, but I mean, I saw his picture on a poster and his name, but he didn't come. And I said, this is the man that was invited. This man is saying exact opposite of what I've been hearing in church. This man is like, is it devil that is using him now? But he's quoting from the Bible. And now he started telling us that, look, we are followers of Christ. Things have changed. These are things that have happened. Then, for the first time in my life, I started having interest in reading the Bible. And I started reading. Then you made the point then that when passages are quoted by any pastor or anybody, we should go and read the whole chapter or read the stories behind it or the concept behind it. So I started reading the whole thing, and I started, because I have been like a non-conformer before, only that I was just not good enough to speak out, and I had no evidence. So but when I started reading the Bible, I now saw that, wow, what Jesse was saying is right. These things are right. And I now saw other people too saying, oh, he's right, he's right. The Bible is saying it. So it prompted me to want to know God more. I now felt that, oh, knowing God is really interesting, because before now, there were times I doubted the existence of God. There were times I actually thought God had offended me in the earlier time, but I think I had to settle with him after I got married and things were going on relatively well. Then I read the book, one of your books then, that was Only God Can Save Nigeria, What a Myth. That was what changed the whole thing, because I work in northern Nigeria, and northern Nigeria is filled with poverty, a lot of poverty, because I don't just work in the capital cities, I work in the interior communities and I see things. So seeing those things, it doesn't move me anymore. I mean, it's like my heart is sealed when you see malnourished children all around, when you see children with polio, children with, beggars all around. It's like normal thing to me. So, and what used to come to mind is that, where do I start from? Where do I even start from when you are surrounded with problems? But Only God Can Save Nigeria, What a Myth, opened my eyes to let me know that I don't need to solve all problems. I just need to pick the problem one at a time. And one at a time counts a lot. So that was what made me. Before then, I met DSA in May. In the month of May, I stopped paying tithe. I did not pay tithe that month. So I tried to divert the tithe in other things, because from the Bible, I now understood that the tithe would actually be given to other people, and that tithe is not even compulsory, that I should allow the Holy Spirit to lead me on what to give. And when I allowed the Holy Spirit to lead me in that month of May, June, I noticed I was given like 3% of the so-called tithes that whenever I gave,
times three,
yeah. And before then, whenever I gave tithe, there's this modicum of satisfaction, there's this, I just feel I've fulfilled all righteousness.
You have satisfied God. You have bribed him.
God
yes, you should keep quiet now.
Yeah. So if God messes up at that time, I could challenge him that I've settled you now.
I've paid my tithe now. I've given you your own due. So what else?
What else? Yeah. And that's the mind of almost many people in Nigeria. So when I started converting my tithe, I remember a friend of mine in the US then, we did masters together. I still remember she told me something on Facebook, that just watch your life for 1 year. Watch your life for 1 year and see how your life will be. And that you will be down financially, you will be down. And I was watching my life, because first of all, I had no belief in such things. I now have knowledge, I now have understanding. So, and eventually I have come to turn a lot of people to say, oh, it's like I've been stealing from the windows of heaven since May last year. And since I even stopped entering church, the Nigerian church denomination, it's like I've been stealing from windows of heaven. God has been there for me.
And he has been blessing you more than when you are going to church and paying them.
Exactly. Moreover, those are not even the things I'm after now, because it's like the more you pay less attention to those things, the more you get satisfied. So that's what I tell people now, that you don't even, DSA, I can't remember the last time I prayed for myself. for protection, for anything, for, I don't know if my wife still does, but she doesn't even do it when we pray together anymore. You know? So I can remember the last time I even say, oh God, I'm going out today, protect me. No, I can't remember the last time I say, God, provide me He provide me money. It doesn't happen anymore.
Even though you are in Nigeria, because people say the reason why I talk like that is because we are overseas. And that's why this gospel is working. It's working only abroad. But you come to Nigeria, all the time, you read the comments, what they are writing. You come to Nigeria, you will see, you will see fire, you will see pepper. You will see that this your gospel doesn't work. It will not hold ground in Nigeria, as if Nigeria was not created by God.
DSA, let me tell you what is happening in my vicinity, in my area, on my street. Because if this gospel you are preaching can work on my street, that means it can work in Nigeria. At the moment, on my street, I don't discourage people from going to church, but it's just recently I noticed that it's as if when we have discussions and we open Bible together, I see that when they go back to church, their heart is changed again. Someone who agree with me that tithe, first fruit is not important, will come back and say, oh, but it's in Malachi, it's in Leviticus. Did you forget what we discussed the last time? So I now start telling them, it's better you stay off. See, I've been out of church, and now you are calling me pastor. Even when I was in church, you don't call me pastor. Now that I have not stepped my foot to church, I'm inside church for over a year, and you know, it is now you are calling me pastor. So that means something is happening. You that you have been going to church, nobody calls you pastor. So what is happening? So I now discourage them because I try to open their eyes that it's as if there's no solution in those churches. Those churches are just there to make you dry. So what? At least I can point to 6, 7, 8 people on my street. The street is just like 20 people. I can the few of them or some of them who still go to church, they don't pay tithe again. They don't pay first fruit. Some of them are workers and winners in Redeemed.
You have infected them.
In fact, it's like a virus, you know. But the main thing is that they see the positive impact I'm making, and the challenges, because I try to throw the challenges at them that, look, this thing, because what they used to say before is that it works for me, it works for me. And I try to tell them that if it works for you, how come I'm also like this? So what is working for me? Not paying tithe or not paying offering or not doing this, but you focus the little that you have on other people who you are better than, because that's what Jesus said in Matthew 25. I was hungry, I was in prison, I was thirsty. When you do it to the least of your brethren, you have done it to God. Then, you know, we have a lot of discussion around this, and so many of them now, maybe out of fear, out of influences from their spouses or what people will say, they still cannot come out. But at least I can point to 2, 3 of them who are now, staying at home, and on Sundays we just discuss, we
they build personal relationship with God,
With God, yes. Because that's what matters.
But so you wanted to meet with your friends. You didn't finish that story.
Okay.
So what happened?
Which of the stories, sir?
You wanted to meet with your friends on Christmas Day.
Okay.
Until you got the Christmas challenge.
Yeah, the Christmas challenge. So I just put a stop to it, and I had to invite my other set of friends. Because to be frank, it wasn't their turn. It had been their turn. I mean, I had met with them. I thought I had done what I...
Okay, tell us more about those people. Who are those people you are talking about?
Okay, so I was saying I read Only God Can Save Nigeria, What a Myth.
Yes.
And that was what really prompted me to do certain things last year.
Okay.
And also this year. And even, let me mention this, that like 2, 3 people have reached out to me from DSA platform. And even, in fact, there's this sister Tracy Imovre that sent me a set of books just 2 weeks ago from London, set of used books. So what I try to do now is to give it to some of these children to read and to do. So Then there's this Abby who also put four other children in school just this year, apart from the ones we also supported. But
Wow.
for last year,
No, but what did you do? What you jumped that side so that people
okay,
could
yeah.
hear.
For last year, what I did was to
No, I
use
want you
part
to
of my,
stop. I want you to start it from where you said you read the book, and then
okay.
what happened? What that trigger?
Okay, so what the book triggered was that, I said initially that I didn't know that I could make an impact because the poverty was just too overwhelming around me. So I was thinking just doing a little may not really touch much. But what prompted me, because I now had more to do, I now had my tithe on me. I now had, I wasn't pressed to drop money here and there for projects and everything. I now had to reach out to some families, some children, and these are children that nobody will ever look at their side. We will rather look at people in our church, even if we want to help. That's if the Spirit of God really touches you. These are people that people will not remember. And one of the things the book really prompted me to do was to look for problems. You look for problems. You don't allow problems. You don't wait for problems to come and look for you. You don't wait for people to come and ask you for, oh, please, I need this, I need that. You go out and look for them. And this one thing the Christmas challenge also did. You are proactive. You go for it. You don't wait for it. And last year, what we did, we were able to put 12 of these children in school, in a public school. And then we have been following up on them, and we thank God for what God is doing. These are children from, like 6 of them or 7 of them were from Muslim family, who were living in an uncompleted building close to me. And I had to reach out to them. We did the next registration, and they started school. So that's just about the
So you reach out
children.
to how many? Is it one family?
No, there were 12 children. They were from like 8 different families or thereabout, like 8 different families.
In your neighborhood there?
In my neighborhood, yeah. These are children who live in an uncompleted building. Then there's a market, an uncompleted market in my neighborhood also, that people live there as refugees. So people there are just, some of them are Christians, some of them are Muslim, but they live there as refugees. So that was the first time I had to walk down to that place and knew that people were actually living there, because I had to ask people around, where are people? Where? Because my eyes were close to these people. I wasn't at their level. We don't operate at the same level. I just enter my car, I go, I come back. Yes, we are sinning against God in Nigeria. As in, we are, honestly speaking, I think Jesus should not come now, because almost all of us will go to hellfire in Nigeria, because we don't do these things. We don't look at it. We don't blink. We just go and we come back. As long as things work for us, as long as we can sing and dance in church.
You don't have the eyes of Christ to see the reality of people's life, the destitute, and
not at all. It wasn't even in our agenda.
so
because
you are.
this is
What
not
you say,
what
that was your neighborhood. You are living there, and you didn't
Yes, I
notice
see
what was
them.
happening there.
I see them every day, and I think that on few occasions I had even given some of these people, because they live around me, there are uncompleted buildings around me. Maybe I had asked my wife to give them some rice or some, food stuff and co. But I never thought that I never thought that I could put the children in school, because I was thinking they are Hausa children who don't, no future for them, no hope for them. I didn't see them as normal human beings.
You are seeing them as nuisance.
Exactly, as nuisance. Like these people should just leave our vicinity. They are. I had to go to God and ask for forgiveness, and just because I think this is the second time I was seeing myself. The first time I thought I had offended God seriously was the story I told you the first time, when I was really disillusioned and I told God I had no business with him. I was just 17, and throughout my university days, I just had to lock up. And this, I had to believe that there was someone called God. But I just told him that, oh, I had no business with you. So if you want to kill me, kill me. If you want to, I entered church, a redeemed church. I was attending them and told him this, that I'm going to go to university. From now on, I have no business with you because you have messed me up. You promised me I should drop half of my salary, and I dropped 500 naira, which was half of my salary. And you asked me to ask 100 fold, and I asked, but you disappointed me. So that's.
But it was not God who told you that. It was a pastor who told you that now.
Yeah, it was a pastor who told me, a pastor that was invited. But I thought that it was God that was speaking. So I was
because you in Nigeria believe that when men of God said, God says, it means God really said.
In fact, God has spoken. God has spoken. It is now people are coming to the realization that because we are now seeing errors, we are pointing out errors that they are doing. And if people really have eyes, they will see. You understand? Like what, you are just at the forefront. There are a lot of people who are now, whose voices are being heard in Nigeria. People like Mama Yowa, people like Raphael, Daddy Freeze and co, they are shouting at the top of their voice. And I like the way they are taking it from the extreme. Because if we wouldn't take it from the extreme, there's no way we will meet at the
center, yes.
At the center. So that extreme we are picking it from is very, very good because they point out at every little thing, and they are not just touching the anointed anymore. We are not just touching the anointed. We are fingering their eyes and their noses and everything. For them to know that someone like me, I'm in Nigeria, almost everybody around me still go to these churches, but they now call me pastor. Why are you calling me pastor?
Whereas before, they would have said that you are backsliding, that you are antichrist.
Yes, just a few months ago, they were calling me antichrist, they were calling me anti-church, they were calling me, but now they are not calling me pastor. That means something has changed. So
those children, those days, you are just looking at them and it never even came to your mind that there should be something done to rescue them, take them off the street.
No, because I felt there were too many and I felt there was nothing I could do. So it's maybe if an NGO had come, maybe I would have introduced them.
But it's not only you that thinks like that now. Government. But that is the mentality of our government people. That's the mentality of our senators and House of Representatives. They are all in their jeeps. They are hidden in their jeeps and in their mansions. And they lock out the whole country. All those people that you call Nigerians, these people that we are calling Nigerians, who are watching us right now, who can use internet and who can, speak English. These people we are calling, they are just 10% of Nigerians, let me tell you.
Yes.
These are just 10% of Nigeria maximum. But 80% or 90% of Nigerians, they lock them out of reality. They don't count them as human beings. Just like you didn't count those children as human beings. That is the way they don't count every other person as human being. They are only talking. If you look at the newspapers and they go ahead and cough. Go ahead and cough. Go ahead and clear your throat while I speak.
Okay.
Yeah. So why they don't? If you look at the press, Nigerian press, and you look at the the internet, you will discover that what these people are, they are talking to themselves. It is the elite that is fighting among themselves. It is the elite that is arguing. Even all their political parties, programs, manifesto, it is just one elite against the other one. But they are not reaching out to the masses. To them, masses are not existence. They are just using them, their names, as if they're just calling the name Nigerians. But when they just say Nigerians, everybody would think they are carrying everybody along. But they are not carrying anybody along. They are only talking about themselves and their interests. So they don't even see those children too. You know that in that same Abuja, there is no way you will live there and be a senator and all those people and not notice that there are children that are homeless. But they have become blind, just like you said. Our whole country is blind to love. We don't have love. We are blind, completely blinded. And we are blind to empathy. We are blind to sympathy. We are blind to compassion. We don't know what compassion is. We are totally blind. Our people are blind. The politicians are blind to, to normal people. And that is exactly what is happening. So those children that you couldn't see and you couldn't recognize them as human beings, as even thought they were nuisance, that is the way this whole country is. That it's affecting the government, it's affecting the GOs, it's affecting the ordinary citizens. Once you make it a little bit better than the others, you begin to look at others as if they are disturbances.
Yes. That is just the way it is, DSA. That is the way it is. And it is not just like that among politicians, it is like that among the so-called Christians in these denominations. Because we that can feed ourselves, we that can take care of ourselves, we tend not to even look at other people. We form a class of ourselves and we just move ahead. We take care of our children, we just move ahead. That's what happens. So I also told you last year that last year was the first time I parked my car to pick people while going to work or while coming back. So these are little things we don't even, we don't even think about it. It doesn't cross our mind. Maybe if they hear it in church, they hear it just once a while, or so it doesn't really touch the depth of our soul. Like the Christmas challenge, some people we watch it now, they just feel pity for a minute and the thing goes. But now, because I live it, I think about it,
it has become a lifestyle to you, a value system.
Yes. Even though the Christmas challenge make me feel I did nothing throughout the year, because it's as if I was now looking at only my vicinity. So the challenge is now that I may have to reach out the more, look ahead and go
but
ahead.
You said you have already taken 12 children out of the street.
More than that. This year we have done like another 20. Yeah,
so 12 you took out of school last year was just last year?
Yeah, it was just last year. This year we did like another 20. Yeah.
And this year you have done 20?
In fact, I will have done more, because what prompted, I wanted to reach out to, there are a set of children in the north here called Alumanjiris. I reside in Abuja, but I work in northern state, Kano, Katsina, and Co. And I was trying to, because now I have many of my Muslim friends on my Facebook page, and sometimes they were asking me, it's like, what is happening? You are fighting your people. And I said, no, this is what Jesus said we should do. Jesus said we should love others. He said, is that so? Even Jesus said you should love Muslims. I said, yes. Jesus didn't say we should hate Muslims. He didn't say you are better than us. He said we are all equal. I just tell them the only difference between me and them, that the only thing between me and you now is that I believe in the resurrection of Jesus Christ. I believe that God sent his son, but you seem not to believe. But dear said, do you know what? I've met two of them who told me secretly that they believe that Jesus Christ died and resurrected. I'm serious. So when they told me this, but the only thing that they could not come out and say it out. I have them on my Facebook. They may even be watching now. They secretly told me that they believe that Jesus Christ resurrected.
The Muslims.
So the Muslims,
Muslims started noticing change in you, or what?
Yes, because they see the way I now relate better with the so-called people. Because when I go to this community in the north, the poverty we see there is not the one we even see in Abuja. Yeah. The people who are poor here are even better than those others. You see minority children. The children you showed in those the videos in the Christmas challenge. Yeah, those are the kind of children, and worse than that, children who you can find in Somalia. You find them in Kano. I'm talking of Kano, not even at minority children whose bones are showing along the way, simply because the father felt is an evil spirit that is affecting the child or so. But when we reach out to them with just little money and we assist them with some of the ingredients and teach the mothers on what to give or to give, and you see the children coming up. I know how many children that were lost to malaria in the areas where I worked last year. malaria. So
they're really dying.
I'm a public health practitioner. I work. I do development work, like I told you. So I do public health, and I'm a data person. So I know what is happening. Children are dying from malaria, as in dying, under 5 children. As in, because I know how many of them I lost on my own data, on my own personal data, just the rainy season last year and this year. So, if we are waiting for the government, and this is part of what I now challenge, I think I would rather work better with even my Muslim friends now, because I think it's easier to convince them that they are the problem of the North. Because I live in the North, I think the North is dragging Nigeria backward. I know there are a lot of problems in the South too, but I try to challenge my Northern brethren to also wake up, that let us help these people. You have gone to school. Why can't we help these children? The only challenge we face along the way, because if you remember last year, I was hoping I would put like 100 children in school. And my intention then was to put these alumanjiris. The alumanjiris are children in the North who just roam around the streets. Their parents drop them with an imam in these communities to teach them Qurans and to teach them like Quranic school. So, but the imam also uses them on his farm. They don't give them food. So he just teaches them Quran and he sends them to the street. So these children are nuisance on the streets. They beg, they do whatever, they just do. They can be used by anybody to do any evil. They can be influenced. You see, even from the age of 2, 3, they are boy children, and you see them on the street. So my intention is to put some of them, work with my team, and work with my Muslim brothers that are in my organization too. But we notice that we are not going to succeed except we are able to provide feeding for these children. Because even if the imam releases these children, because they are under the custody of the imam, if he releases the children to go for Western education, they must eat. And so feeding them will be a challenge. They must still go back to street, so they won't stay in school. And that is why during the time of Jonathan, I recall there was a time he built these alumanjiri schools in maybe 1 or 2 states in the North. But the places are empty now because they will not stay, because these children need to eat. So feeding is a problem. So that's why I still have to just settle for what I can do around me, what I can do in my vicinity. But we are mapping out better strategy to reach out to more people, because the more people we reach out to, the better. We are sitting on time bomb in Nigeria, sir. Because just like you said, people who are really fearing are just like 20, 30%. They are, in fact, let me just say 10% who know what to eat tomorrow. Now there's another 20% of Nigerians who are just struggling, who have to struggle a lot to eat. Then there's about 70% or more who are really, really, really in poverty, who are suffering, who are really, really suffering. So those people, if they have knowledge today and they overwhelm the other people, they will march on all of us and destroy us. And the way forward is just for us to start reaching out to as many people we can reach out to with love, with whatever it is we can. Not necessarily food or money, but even concerns, even to talk to them, to show them love, to know that they are human beings. On the 25th of this, on Christmas Day, when these children came to my house, they spent like 5 hours in my place, and I just saw the joy in them. I saw.
Tell us how does that? That sounds very simple the way you said it. That children came to your house, but it's a hurdle you have to cross psychologically to
Yes.
to open your house to people, children of, they are Hausas, right? They are Muslims.
Yeah. Yes, they are Muslim with their hijabs and codes. So these are children. I think the ages was just like 12 below, like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. These are children who. So eventually, the Christmas challenge made me. They were the one I now celebrated my Christmas with. Although eventually in the evening, I now had to meet with my friends, but the evening time was for my friend. But the real Christmas I celebrated was with these children. There were 9 of them who came that day. And this, just like you said, this is not normal. They are, it is just now that they know that when they are coming to my house, they have to have their bath. You know, it's not normal. I'm sure many of my neighbors, it's just now that they know me for it. If not, that they be wondering what exactly is this guy doing. You know, it's abnormal in our vicinity here because first of all, they are Muslim. Second, we are not of the same class. You know, maybe the best they can do is just I can give them something across my gate, across my fence, but not even to enter my compound, not to talk of entering my sitting room, you know. So, but these are things that now
And they
give
are
me
not
joy.
well, they are not tidy, they are not well, you know.
No, they are not. It's just now that they are not getting better. Now that they are going to school, they now know that they have to wash their clothes. And I also engage their parents to, of course, through someone who can speak outside to tell them that about washing their clothes regularly, let them look clean, especially when coming to my place, you know. So that they are learning from school, they're also learning from me, you know. So these are some of the things that there's a platform has really taught me
You
because
told
I
me
also
one
see.
time that when the first time you brought all those children to your house, that you gave them, is it cornflakes or something like that?
Yes, golden more. There's something called golden more in Nigeria. It's just like cornflakes and chocolate. Then that was the first time they also watched cartoon.
So was that the first time they were seeing that golden more?
Yeah, that was the first time they tasted it in their life because I asked them, you know, I asked them. That was the first time that was last year. That was the first time. So there are children.
And you said chocolate, that was the first time you were taking chocolate too?
That was the first time they ever tasted chocolate in their lives. They might have taken candies, normal sweets. There's something we call sweet in Nigeria, sweets. But there's chocolate. That was the first time they tasted it. And you know, it's they now feel like because now when they came when they came a few days ago, I noticed that they now feel they are human beings. You know, they feel before when they come, they will just sit there, they will just, you know, they will just sit on the floor, no talking, no. But now I see them talking, I see them pointing to the TV, I see them, even though they may not hear what the cartoon is saying, but you know, they are now, they can make noise in my sitting room, they feel like human beings. They now act like normal children, you know. They act like normal children, the way children will do, the way children will laugh and do, wow.
What
I
about
feel,
before?
no, before, you know, they were just like slaves. I don't know if you know the way house helps behave in Nigeria.
Who?
In a
House
typical
helps?
house help,
Okay.
yes, housemaids, the way they are treated in some homes is that they don't sit down where normal families are sitting. They don't eat where normal people are, where the family members are eating. They serve, they go to kitchen and eat. They keep quiet, they don't talk when they are not supposed to talk. Only the members of the family can talk, you know. So that's the way they just sit down there because they are not, it was a strange environment. So they just kept quiet there. But now because they have entered my house a number of times, they are now freer and they cannot do like normal children, you know, unlike doing like slaves, like they unlike not being free and just there like I don't know how to explain it because I don't know if you've experienced such things.
They
But
were
now they are
intimidated,
free,
eh?
intimidated and not seeing themselves as human beings, you know. Because I read the way they don't see themselves as normal human beings. They see themselves as just people who are supposed to be, you know, maybe when you need to do some work, just call their father because their father help us in the community. They are like laborers. When we want to cut grass, we call them to cut. When we want to, you know, that's what we use their fathers for. So now the children are just like that. They are not like other children. They don't talk to other children. They can't even be like other children. They couldn't. But now they are now freer with me, you know.
What about
So,
their
and this,
mothers?
in fact, you know, the culture is so deep. Their mothers are worse because in northern Nigeria, women are not really um, women are like second-class citizens. They are not even allowed to speak out, except the educated ones among them now who are now like waking up the others, because most of the women don't go to school at all. They don't go to school at all. If the parents would rather send anybody to school, would rather send the male child. So the mothers are even nothing to write them about. Their own is just to pick firewood and cook for the family, and give birth every year, and that's the only thing they do.
So when you invite the children, you don't invite the mothers with them?
No, because yeah, maybe I would consider that to invite the father and the mother, because the children are the ones that are really freer with me now. So I've not really considered even inviting the mother. Maybe because I'm more I'm freer with the children. I never
No, but you are
considered
sponsoring them, you are sending them to school,
yes,
but there's no way
yes.
the parents will not notice that now.
No, of course they know. I go to them, like I told you. I've met their parents a number of times. Another thing is that my outside is not very fluent, it's not very good. So I have to get an interpreter to explain to them like how to take care of their children, because I noticed the children were also neglected, and not because they do not love the children, but because they do not know what to do. The children may not have their bath for days. They are just children out there who are just, the only thing is that they know that they have to go back to their parents, and they have a place to sleep, unlike the Alumanjiris who don't have a place to sleep at home. So of course, when they see me, the only thing they can do is just smile and just greet me and speak the little Hausa I can speak with them, and move away. But the children are my real concerns,
Hearing you now, I begin to think about the women. We have to do something about the women too.
The women yeah, there's a lot to do. I think the best thing to do, because what the women do per se is just to pick firewood and cook for the family and get pregnant and give birth. So the primary thing is just to empower them mainly. If they can see what to do, I mean, with their hands, and they can fetch little money and to do, but of course that can also be considered. I will look into that. My focus has been on the children, and mainly because
Can you develop a program for me? I want to find out how much you will be able to cover. If you will develop a program for this kind of category of people, children to take off the street, their parents, to give them some, beginners, to develop business plan, or, a structured system of how many can be covered just by your organization. How many people will you need to employ? How much money would that cost a month or a year? I need to have an idea. If I have an idea, believe me, when we come to when I get over my own limitation here, I would like to take care of that.
Definitely. That can be done. That can be done. I'm not, of course, I have that kind of idea, and I think I started putting things together also, but I think I would just, because I tried to register an NGO last year, but things
No,
happened.
don't register
I didn't
anything.
complete
Just think, just calculations, just approximate minimum
that
things
can be done. That can be done, because like I told you, like my initial plan was to put like 20 children of those Alumanjiris in school in the 5 states where I work: Kaduna, Kano, Katsina, Yobe, and Borno. And then to put them in school, there was just like probably, I can't remember the exact amount, with their uniform, probably just like 7,000 to start with. Then subsequently, it's just like 500 naira. So it wasn't really much, but because of the issue of
7,000. That's
being
like
fed,
$20.
just little money. That's what it is. It may even be cheaper, because by the time we get a tailor to sew the school uniform for them, but the challenge is just the feeding them. But that one is by the way. I will try and see what I can do and put things together. I'm sure a lot of people are also doing things. Like I told you, someone on DSA Family reached out to me, and we were able to put 4 children, part of the 20 were 4 in school. You know, she sent the money directly to their parents, because I made sure that the money went directly to their parents. My own job was just to monitor them and make sure that they did not use the money to feed, they used it to pay the school fees of these children. 2 of them were supposed to enter secondary school last year, but they couldn't. So they had to enter this year. So, you know, it was a thing of joy for me to meet such children and, you know, help them further their education, which is very, very prompt, you know.
So, but you have done all this within the year, supported close to 40 students, 40 children from the street, taking 40 children from the street, put them in school.
30,
but when you said when you got the Christmas challenge, you felt as if you have not started doing anything at all.
As if I've not started anything. But I also know what hampers me, you know, of course, because I had a project I was working on, you know, I had to complete the project this year. In fact, that's why I couldn't do much. Because when okay, let me just keep that. I think it was just the project that hampered me, that I couldn't do much, but I was still able to reach out to as much as 20, you know. So I think going forward, things we can only get better, you know.
So, but those widows, are they also in your neighborhood there? The one you said after you got the Christmas challenge?
One of them is not even in my neighborhood. 2 of them are in my neighborhood. One of them, I was telling you a story the other day, that there was one of them who attends Dunamis. And only a few weeks ago, on the Saturday, Dunamis opened one of the largest auditorium in probably in the world, in Abuja here. And before then, one of those widows, a week before or 2 weeks before,
a member of an NHS church.
Yes, an NHS church, because we have a branch in my community there. We have a branch of Dunamis in my community there. So she knocked on my, no, I picked her from the junction of our streets, I mean, of my community. So we got talking, and because whenever I pick people in my car now, I engage them and we try to talk. So the way I spoke, she now said she needed to come and see me. She collected my number, and then she now came to see me at home, and I was telling her.
Even members of those churches will not pick up their members in their car.
No.
So you are like an angel in that city, stopping your own car to pick up these people. And they go to church, and they are members of their churches that have cars passing them by, not pick them up, and you are picking them up.
Yeah. So maybe before I continue this story, sir, I did a mini research in October, November this year. I asked a question from about 25 people, because when I picked them, I just tried to engage them. The 25 of them were just youth, and probably there were like 18 of them were male, and maybe like 7 of them were female. I was asking them like just a simple question, that have you sent any money to your parents this year? These 25 people are Christians going to church, going to Redeem, Winners, because those are the churches around us, and other churches, Dunamis and co. I asked them, have you sent money to your parents this year? Because, you know, I've learned how to start conversation immediately they enter my car. And once they enter my car, I start conversation. Out of the 25, sir, I met only one lady sends money to her parents every month. 21 of them have not sent anything this year, as at October, November this year. They are youth, they are just young people like me. 3 of them have sent, 2 of them have sent twice this year, and one of them have sent once. And the challenge I tell them is that, one of them is a member of my street. I mean, he's on my street. I will also tell the story of that one. It was the one I said, went to sow money in Igila Church in 2003 because he was looking for a job.
Iginla's
Sorry,
church.
2013.
Instead of giving
Yes.
it to the parents, he went and gave it to Iginla.
No, that was because he was looking for a job in 2013. But from 2013 to 2018, he has not gotten a job.
And the little money he had given it to Iginla. Oh, Shineke.
It's like, I'm breaking the story. Let me try and complete one before
Please, human being, everybody who is watching this thing, go share this message. Now, beg una. Let's go and share this thing and put it in every inbox. You have to go through the list of all your friends. Go and put this thing in every one of them. If necessary, take it and do watch party. Let everybody watch this thing. Make you the
things
talk.
Are really bad, sir. And you know, one of them, like I said, this man that sold in Igila Church was one of the 25 that has not sent any to his parents this month because he had no job. I understand.
This year.
But this year at all. But you know, he feeds his family. He has 4 kids, and he feeds his family. He's struggling. I know he's struggling, and the way we met, because he's been passing in front of my street, and the way we met was that one day he also attended Dunamis. You know, he also attended Dunamis. Like 3 months ago, he knocked on my gate, and he just whispered to me that, oh, he needed something. He needed food. They don't have any food at home. So I called him into my house, and I gave him what I packed food for him, and so it was the way I was packing it. He just stood. He was shocked. So the way he was shocked, I was reading his mind, because first of all, it's as if he did not expect someone he had not spoken to, someone who he just greets, good morning, good afternoon, sir, to give him any, to even respond. So I was looking at him with one side of my eye. So I went into my room and added money to it, because I knew he had no. So that was when he now opened up to me that, sir, things, you gave me this. Why, what is happening? Which church do you attend, sir? I said, I don't go to church. I said, but this is what Jesus said we should be doing. He now said, I heard you the other day, you were talking to one man, talking to him about Jesus, and you don't go to church? I said, I don't go to church. So he now said he will come and see me. He now came back on a Sunday. On a Sunday after church, we sat down in front of my house and we were talking. That was when he now opened up to me about how he sold money in Igila Church in 2013, and he felt things are not working. Things are not. He has been attending Dunamis now for two years. Things are not working. I now asked him the other day you came to me, why didn't you go to any member of your church? Why didn't you call your pastor? I said, they won't give, because the branch in Moko is still young. It's 3 years. So they can't give for now. They are still building the church, so they don't have to give. So that's when we now got into conversation. And that's when he now told me another story about what happened in his family just recently before he came. He got some money, and just as normal Nigerian Christian, he and his wife removed their tithe from that money he got, and they kept it, because they kept it to give it in church on Sunday. Within the week, one of their children fell sick, and they needed to treat the child, and they had nothing on them anymore, nothing. So he was not telling me that he told his wife that he needed to take part of the tithe, or to use the tithe to treat the child. The wife said no.
To buy medicine for the child.
To buy medicine for the child, yeah. That the wife said no, that is for God. They couldn't touch it. He now told me that he had to now appeal to his wife that he will borrow it. He will borrow the money so that they will return it. That's when he sought it. He was now asking me that, is that right?
But when your child is sick, you don't have tithe now. When you have obligation, when you have debt to pay, when you need to feed your child and your family, you don't have tithe.
Sir, these people have been brainwashed. And they have been brainwashed to the extent that even as at the time he left my house, I'm not sure I've convinced him, even though we have seen a number of times after that. And what I try to, because this thing cannot just leave their memory overnight. You know, it is what they have been hearing over and over again. And when
so he had to come, he's coming to you to beg for food. But yes, he has money, he will not touch.
No, he cannot touch it, because it's tight, it's for God. So thank God he was able to borrow the money to take care of that child. Because if the child dies, they will think that is another thing, you know. So a lot of things are happening that, so eventually I was able to convince him that, you know, tell him about the period we are and what Christ has done and what the difference between the Old Testament and what we are facing now, you know. I hope he's coming, but thank God he doesn't even have money, because people like that, if they have money, they will just be eating them raw. The other woman that I said knocked on my gate also attended dunamis, you know, because, you know.
So this man is opening $1 billion church where his members are destitute.
They are destitute. They are beggars. They are not just begging for money, sir. They are begging for food, not for money, for food. In this Abuja, we're in Abuja. I'm not in a village. I'm not in a core village. This is Abuja. So what? Just imagine what is happening in other states. Things are so bad, but we thank God the message is permeating the
Tell
society.
us about the woman.
The woman also knocked on the woman I said I picked, that I spoke with, and she collected my number and she came to see me.
Okay.
So we also knocked on my gate, and the day she came to meet me, she had to tell me her problems. She had been coughing for like 3 months before then. So because they call me doctor in my vicinity, I'm actually a veterinary doctor. So she thought I'm a human doctor. So she came to consult with me, and I told her, oh, I'm not a human doctor, but if you are coughing this long, you need to go to hospital, because you may think it's normal cough, it may be TB and everything. Go to hospital. She now says she had nothing. She didn't go to hospital because she had nothing. And I told her, you attend dunamis, you are a worker in dunamis. Why can't you tell your pastor all this why? She also confirmed what that man said, that the church is a young church. They are just starting, and that's why for now they don't have money to give. They can't assist anybody, and that people who have gone earlier were not assisted, so she couldn't go. So that,
but she could come to you.
Yeah, but she could come to me
because your heart is open, like you are the Jesus she could see.
Yes.
Which means she couldn't see Jesus in her church. You are the Jesus she could see in the flesh.
And she knew I don't go to church. Oh. Because when one question they normally ask me is that, which church do you attend? Because when they hear from people like me, or when I speak, they want to know the church. Which church does this guy attend that? And I say I don't go to church. You know, I mean, I'm church myself. I stay at home. I build personal relationship with God. That's what I tell them, that they should go and build theirs. That is the most important thing, not the church thing. So they are always prompted to come to me, to come and meet me. Some of them are elderly. Like this woman I'm talking about is elderly. She was telling me things that, you know, when I started opening the Bible for her, she had to come and collect just 2 weeks ago, she had to come and collect verses from me on first fruits. She was asking me, hey, that place that you told me about first fruits and tithes, write it for me. I had to write it for her to go and read, you know, because they are not always convinced at once. And the problem is that as long as they keep going to those covens, to those places they call church, they cannot escape easily. They cannot escape easily. So the people don't understand when someone like Mayowa is shouting that leave these places, leave these places. People don't understand. It is now I understand, because you may find better churches. Maybe they are better in the UK, in the US, but we are in Nigeria, yes, sir. And the leading ones, the so-called leading ones, are nothing to write home about.
Once you run away from them.
The best thing is to run away. The best thing is to run away and avoid them. I wasn't subscribing to that before, but recently I started subscribing to that, because as long as you keep hearing them,
you will never change. You will never hear Christ.
They will never hear Christ. So they need to learn, they need to live, to listen and learn to listen to God themselves first. People need to learn to listen to God themselves, to know God the more, to know the God of the Bible, to know the motive of God, to know what God really wants. Now know what the pastor is telling them God wants. You know, so that is see the main challenge we're having. But we know that 2019 will be a better year because people are beginning to ask questions. Because for that woman to come to me and start asking that, oh, give me that verse, maybe she wants to go and show it to her pastor or discuss it in church. But there are things that I've noticed that in their church, they just silent. They don't, when you ask them questions, you say, no, don't ask, don't go there. Don't let us go there. It's a personal matter. It's a spiritual matter. You know, even the pastors cannot defend other these things. They are just following their GOs. You know,
What
and
about
swallowing whatever
if you give them money, and that money, are you sure that you will not take one of it, so a little of it, and take it to that same church again?
In fact, that is another thing, and that's what this woman. I remember the last time she came, I had to, when I gave her the money, I promised that I had to do, madam. I now open the place. I now open Deuteronomy 14 for that. Look, you don't need to pay tithe. Tithe is for widow. You are a widow. See, she now say, so this tithe is for. So I hope she doesn't pay, because I made sure that I deliberately delayed that money till after Saturday that Eneche opened that church, because I know she told me she was going for that opening, and I know that on that day there's no way they will not sow seed. So I asked her to come on the Sunday. Eneche opened that church on Saturday, and she told me she was going. I couldn't stop her, so she went. So I asked her to come on the Sunday. So it was when she came, and I had to give her, and I told her, look, this thing doesn't make me, I don't pay title, I don't pay first fruit, and you can see what I'm doing. I'm richer than you, I'm better than you financially.
And she's coming to you to beg for money.
And you are coming, you are a tither now, and you are begging from me. So please, it's better. You now see that the tithe doesn't work. She was just shaking her head like this. She was shaking her head. But I hope, you know, and a few days ago, so she was one of the people I called on December 25th, after I watched the Christmas challenge, you know, because I thought I was done with her throughout the year, but I felt I still owe her, you know, I felt the Christmas challenge made me feel I still owe her, I still owe a number of people in my community, and I like it like that when I commit myself. When I commit myself, it's as if I owe God, so I know I have a responsibility to meet, and that I will go for.
But she was not the only widow.
Yeah, she was not the only widow. The other people were just people there is one in Ogun State that I've committed myself, that I started sending something to every month, you know. So it gives me joy to put smile on these people's faces, because you see, it goes a long way. Sir, if everybody in Nigeria, what I tell my friends is that,
oh my God.
DSA, if you come to Nigeria, if you don't have a heart, if you don't, you will weep and cry for this nation, sir. Sir, people don't have, but they rather take what they have to church. People prefer to make their family starve, to make their children, starve, and go and give money in church. This is what we are battling. And that is why I don't know if Mayowa is listening, if other people are listening, Raphael, all of them, they need to do more of these videos. They need to keep shouting, they need to keep, because we need to get these things across. Unfortunately, many of these people cannot afford the videos. But what I do is that I download some of these videos, and when some of them are with me, I try to make them watch some of these videos. I try to give them on their phones. I try to make sure they listen to it for those who have phones. It's so pathetic, sir. So pathetic.
You are just one young man. Oh my God. What about if more Nigerians, ordinary Nigerians, at least like you, who is not rich, nothing, what about if more ordinary Nigerians will begin to do something?
Sir, when you enter Nigeria, within 10 years, Nigeria will be transformed. I'm beginning to believe, I believe now that if Jesse enters Nigeria, And this kind of message can be propagated. This kind of message can be heard by everybody. Nigeria will change. Nigeria will change. Because even in that my community now, I know 1, 2, 3 people who in this, they started reaching out to people just like I'm doing. No matter how small, I tell them, no matter how small, just give it. No matter how small, just give it. As long as you are better than this person, just give it. That is the secret. So, and I noticed that they are beginning to do it. They are beginning to reach out to people, not just reaching out, because they now have more. They now have more because they don't take it to church anymore. They don't, and that is why these people will do all it takes to stop this revolution. They will do all it takes because their money is dropping. I am rest assured that the money is dropping.
I'm sorry. Please play the video. Let's play. We'll come back to you. Let's do the video a little bit. Merry Christmas.
What are we going to do?
Now, I'm coming to you today with a Christmas challenge. As we are all celebrating Christmas, as the whole world is celebrating, and everybody is, enjoying all the gifts and all the festivities and all the dinners and the lunches and the restaurants and things like that, especially in the Western world, there are a whole lot of people all over the world that do not even experience a fragment or a fraction of all this Merry Christmas that we're talking about. Look at this video. I want to show you some of these people that God's heart is crying for.
I didn't expect for the disease to be as advanced as it is. I was heartbroken.
These children do not have to look like this. It's not contagious. You can't catch it by touching them and loving them. And we need help to get them some treatment that they deserve. Their suffering is very long.
This is Esther. At first, I thought she was a boy. And this is her older brother, Sam. Their behinds were shriveled and laced with deep lines left by their shrinking body mass. Their legs were tiny bones covered in dried out skin. It was clear to me that starvation had pushed these helpless kids to the verge of death. What are we going to do? What are we going to do?
So the Christmas challenge is about those that the world has forgotten about, and God's heart is crying for them, because even though we might forget them, but God has not forgotten them. Look for ways and means to find a family, an orphan, a widow, people who don't know joy, who don't have anybody to give them joy. They are all over us. They are all over our neighborhoods or other parts of the world. They don't know anything about no joy, no happiness, no merry, no gifts, no surprises, nothing. Just dry and pain and weeping and crying in some sections of the earth. If you can afford $1 or $2 or $5, anything you can afford, why don't you go and give a Christmas to somebody? Be the life giver to someone else. Let somebody experience that joy to the world. Let somebody experience Christmas because of you. Let's just do something to make these people know that God has not forgotten about them, that God thinks about them, that God loves them, and that God does care. Let's go and make Christmas happen to someone, somewhere, in the name of Jesus. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. He who has pity on the poor lends to the Lord, and he will pay back what you have given. Just in case there are some of you that might want to call into the program, please go ahead and do it. You see that book beside me there, How Every African Nation Can Become a First World Nation? It's one of the ways we could resolve all this poverty issue back at home. If you know anybody in Nigeria, that might be able to, that might, you know, it could help somebody there. Anybody to help any country. But besides, if you want to call, go to Facebook Messenger. Look for Move Agents, one word, Move Agents, and write to us that you want to call, that you want to contribute. Just drop us a line, SMS us that you would like to call. Going back to Opeyemi, you said this video affected you so much. Tell us some of the things that you got, or some of your conclusions or lessons after watching it.
So one very thing, you know, like I told you, my eyes have seen and my eyes are seeing. I work in an area or in areas where it's called Nigeria, because when you say Nigeria, the places we live in, Abuja is not Nigeria. The Nigerians are really in the communities, and they are the majority. So like these children crawling on the floor, I see that regularly. It's something I see. It's just recently my heart began to move for them. But I also know that when I go to those places, I go on an official assignment. So I'm not really, and I cannot do much. But I always challenge my Muslim friends that, see, this is happening in your community. This is northern Nigeria. Try and do something. Yeah? But then they have not gotten it. They just feel, oh, all they can do is give 20 naira or 10 naira to them as beggars and co. So, but when I woke up that 25th and I saw this video, it made me remember all the things I saw throughout the year, because I saw things like this. I saw children crawling on the floor. I saw women, men. I saw people who, you know, who I cannot explain. You know, people you don't see every day. I don't know, people that you can see a woman who is breastfeeding, but she's emaciated because she's not feeding well, and the baby too is emaciated, and all they needed was just like 2,000 naira for her to go to the nearest clinic to get assistance, because sometimes there's a project in Nigeria on nutrition done by UNICEF, for example, they call it CIMAM, but for them to even go to those clinics, because they feel they will ask for a card of 20 naira, or because they feel they will ask them to buy drug of 100 naira, these women will not go. And their husbands, because they have so many wives, they don't care much. So if one dies, but the others will survive. So that's the mentality around here. And that is just the way it is. But when I woke up that day, I just felt I may not be able to reach out to those people now because I'm in Abuja. The little I can do around me in my vicinity was what I was going to do. And that was not part of my agenda. That was not part of my plan. But the Christmas challenge challenged me to do what I did and to do more, you know. So that was just it. And I also use it to challenge others too. Like today, before this program, there's a friend of mine that lives close by that I had to go and discuss with, and that this is what we should be doing. The person you are better than is someone you should assist. Don't sew up anymore. You know, even though you still go to church, don't sew up. Don't give money to someone who is better than you. Give it to someone you are better than. You know, if everybody can do that, sir. In fact, if 80% of Nigerians can start doing good, because in public health, there's something called population immunity. If 80% of the population is vaccinated, you know, the disease, we find it difficult to penetrate the remaining 20%. The reason why we have so much evil around us now, the reason why we are so overwhelmed with evil is because 80%, you know, or more are the ones doing evil. And the evil is not just kidnapping, it's not just killings that we have around us, but it is you not being able to put smile on people's faces, on your neighbor's face.
Indifference.
You know,
Indifference is the greatest thing.
Yeah, exactly. And also indifference, because I think that's the word. We sometimes, it's not as if people don't want to assist. Maybe if people come to them, if they come and beg them, or if they just feel, oh, this person is not disturbing me, let me pass by. But Jesus was going around doing good. That's what the Bible says. So he left his house specifically to do good. That means he was looking for problem around. While preaching the word, he was doing good. That means I should not just enter my car and go to my office every day and come back, come back, and live fine. My family is fine. The other people living around me, I don't care about them. So until everybody starts doing good, no matter how little, that is when our country will change. So it is an overwhelming encounter for me, because it really touched me that I had not done much at all for the year, and I just pray that next year will be a better time. You know, it's still somewhat difficult to get to that level. You know, to get to the level one wants to get to, because the plans are there, the dreams are there. I see these people every day, but you know.
But sometimes what is more important than what you yourself can do is actually what you are able to trigger.
Yes.
If you can convince other people and open their eyes to the need to help people who are less privileged and who are worse off than them,
yes,
that sometimes might even be more important than you alone trying to do something by yourself.
Exactly. I think that is it. And that's what I'm doing now, because like I told you, I have a few people in my community who are also doing what I'm doing now, only that I've not taken time to now monitor what they are doing or to ask them questions. So what I will also do now is to ask them, Alpha, what have you been doing? How are you doing it? You know, so that to be sure that we are doing it the right way. You know, but I have few people who are now reaching out to people. They now know that what counts is what you do to those who you are better than.
And were you able to also spread the message, the Christmas message, to other people?
Yes, I did. Of course, I shared it on my platform. A number of people saw it, and I also called people to watch it. You know, so it's a good challenge, and I'm sure they too are challenged anyway. Yeah.
I plan to do this challenge every year.
If you can do it every month, maybe it will revive us, because you know sometimes we tend to relax, but a challenge like this we wake one up from slumber. You know, sometimes one may want to relax and want to just focus on himself because you feel you have done something. But a challenge like this we prompt one to do more and more. You know.
So that's your name. So through that your name, people can get in touch with you on Facebook. Eh?
Yeah, Opeyemi, yes. Through my name, people can get in touch with me, sure. people can get in touch with me, and we can always discuss on the way. Like I told you, Tracy, there's this Tracy on DSA platform, Tracy Imovre or something. She sent me a box of books from London, as in used books from nursery school, primary schools. Now, what I try to do, because I say that they are not books I could just give to those children to go and spoil. So they come to my house now. I give them for 3-4 days to go and read. They come back because they're on holidays now. So and to improve their reading habits and the books are so colorful. These are things that are really encouraging me also. But of course, there are by this coming year there will be better ideas coming to mind that I will also implement. So I just want to encourage everybody, especially those that are in Nigeria, to really wake up to this. We need to really wake up, no matter what we can do, no matter how small, no matter how small. Even for those of you who are still going to church, even within your church there, look around. There are people who are also suffering. All you have to do is just open your eyes. Just open your eyes. You will see them. They are there. They are not far-fetched. They are everywhere. But by the time we go to church and you empty your pocket in church in the offering basket, you will have nothing to give. I think that's the challenge we're having. So it's better for me not to go to church and use my money to do the little I can for people who are around me. Because, sir, when these people I say knock on my gate, honestly speaking, I imagine me disappointing them. I don't know if my gate was the first one they've knocked. But for them to knock on my gate, I imagine me telling them, oh, I don't have anything, oh, sorry, I don't have anything. They will be so disappointed. Because the way they came, it was as if I was their last hope. And thank God Almighty. Maybe before now, I wouldn't have done much, but it comes easy. It comes easy now. It's as if I'm owing them. If I went, before they come, I reach out to them. When they now come, it's as if I'm owing them. So until we develop that mentality, that is when things will really change. And I really thank God for the day I opened my Facebook and the day I met DSA. Because if not for this message, if not for the message of the kingdom I've had, if not for all this message of love, the series of laws on kingdom, and the books I've read, probably I will still just be like normal Christian, going to church, helping them to build edifices and waiting for declaration on the 31st. So, but thank God we are beyond that. Things have changed. So you can also imagine the 25 people I asked, 18 of them have never sent anything to their parents this year, 18, and they are all churchgoers. So you can imagine millions of people in church, millions. It's possible on the average, maybe 70% of them or 80% have not even remembered their parents this year, because the pastors are their spiritual parents now. The pastors are the ones they remember, So things are so bad, so bad that I didn't know how bad it was until videos started surfacing on the internet and I started saying things, and then, everything was just normal to me until my eyes opened. I just pray other people's eyes open also. That's the way we can only get a better Nigeria. Not waiting on government, because the government will not do anything. Government will not change anything. In fact, there's little they can do until individuals start doing things. That's when things will change.
Well, I cannot thank you enough. Thank you for being Jesus in the flesh.
Thank God, sir.
And thank you for being a great disciple of the Lord Jesus Christ, and for accepting the word that you had from this platform, and for being not just a hearer, but a doer as well. You will not believe it. There's a huge help on the way. Believe me, there is help on the way. I don't know, but with this kind of things I'm seeing and I'm experiencing, I think God has to release me faster than He was planning to. I have to, I have to begin to do something about this Africa. And help is on the way, my dear.
Amen.
And to the people who cannot hear me, to all these Almariji, or what do you call them? Almanjiris and all kind of children that are in need, their parents, their women, their wives, their mothers.
There are so many.
To the very hopeless of that nation, help is on the way.
Yeah.
Well, I will have to let you go. I'm so emotional today. For those of you who are planning to come to Ukraine for the History Makers training, the next History Makers training is coming up in February from the 2nd to the 7th. You can come earlier, you can go later, but it's from the main dates are from the 2nd to the 7th of February. You just go to sundaydaylighterblog.com/HMT or write to hmt@godembassy.org. You'll be able to get all the information. If you want to get my books, you can get them for free on Kindle Unlimited or buy them on Amazon or write to my office to dssbooks@gmail.com. If you want to go with us back to Nigeria to make a difference, go to the same blog, sundaydaylighterblog.com/Nigeria, and register there. In the next 25 minutes, I will be coming back to talk about the Holy Spirit, how to know God through the Holy Spirit. But Opeyemi has done a marvelous job today, and I pray that God will touch some of you to get in touch with Him, and so that you could begin to partner with Him and do some things over there to lessen the pain and the fate of a lot of destitutes back in our country. So, in the next 20 minutes, I will see you guys. Opeyemi, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Keep on the good job, my dear. God bless you guys.
Amen.
Bye.
Thank you, sir.